Hello everyone, it's me, Rory Paddock for RacingDaily.com. It's just gone 8 a.m. on what is day one of the festival. It's Tuesday, it's the 11th of March. But I've already talked about Tuesday yesterday. I'm going to be talking about day two, Wednesday. Now, I appreciate without seeing the first day's action, making these selections, there's certain things that I might be neglecting, whether that's the ground, whether there's other sort of clues, hints, or sort of advice that you would garner by seeing the day's worth of action. But please bear with me. I want to get these videos out to you as soon as possible so you've got that chance to view them. So hopefully later on this afternoon we'll have absolutely smashed day one. If you've not seen those selections, make sure you head on over to one of our social media pages or to racing-daily.com to view my selections, as well as other handy hints and tips from the rest of the team, including stats, trends, and other bits of information. So it's Wednesday. Like I said, hopefully we've smashed day one by now. So let's get stuck into the action. First up, the 120, I think it was a race that I was trying to find some sort of angle in, away from the top two in the betting. I was looking perhaps at one or two at bigger prices, but I think it's safe to say that Final Demand and the New Lion are head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Um, and there's a reason they're vying for favouritism. I was going to potentially just put them up as a reverse forecast, but as soon as something like that happens, and you put a bet like that up, that one of them or something at a much bigger price ends up splitting the two and finishing in second. So I looked at alternative bets, looked at Paddy Power, and both horses to finish in the top three pays just shy of 4 to 5. It's around 0.78 to 1. If you're bearing in mind 4 to 5 is 0.8 to 1. So they're all thereabouts. I actually think, considering that's not miles away from even money, that's a relatively decent bet. It's not something I can be drastically confident about. But if you think those two are going to fill one of the top, one or two of the, if those two are going to fill two of the top three spaces, then I think that's fair enough. Neither of them even have to win. Something could spring some massive shock. And as long as these two finish second or third, first or second, first or third, in any order, any way round, then that is a winning bet. That's what I'm going to go with. I know it's a bit niche, it's a bit different, but the aim of the game is to try and find winning selections. And I think that's a decent enough bet rather than having to decipher the really tough task of trying to pick one of those two that you think will win. We then go to the 2 o'clock, and perhaps one of my bets of the festival is Ballyburn. Horse obviously loves it here at Cheltenham, is in cracking form. I don't think the race is much, and I don't think he'll have to be a superstar to win this. Ballyburn, head and shoulders above the rest, should be coming out on top there in the 2 o'clock. We then go to the first handicap of the day on Wednesday, and it's a really tentative selection. I've looked at this race over and over and over again, and there was nothing that really sparked my enthusiasm. Unlike on Tuesday, where there was a couple that I was perhaps a bit more keen on. The reason I've gone for Sandor Clegane, one is a decent price, and it's gone well at the festival a couple of times before. Clearly loves it here in March. Isn't the most prolific, so it will certainly have to step up quite a lot to win. But with so many runners, again, if you've got a bookmaker that's generous enough to be paying top 5, maybe top 6, then I think at a decent price, pick up a bit of place money. Sandor Clegane, you couldn't go far wrong. We then go to the 320. It's a race that sort of really splits opinion when it comes to the festival. It's the cross country. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's a novelty race, but it deserves its place there. We've seen some absolutely fantastic Cheltenham Festival memories with the likes of Tiger Roll, etc. And the Bolger used to farm this race for fun. But I'm going to go with Stumptown. It's the clear favourite. It's done very little wrong this season. And I wouldn't be as confident as I am with the likes of Ballyburn. But again, I was trying to find a bit of an angle. A lot of people have backed this horse anti-post. I wish I was one of them. If you could have gotten an each way price, a tentative selection somewhat, but again, you can't look past it. It's done what it's had to do this season. It's a previous festival winner. Stumptown is the one for me. We're going to go to the big race of the day, the Queen Mother. It's all about John Bon. Again, another horse that's been heavily backed, both anti-post and, will be heavily supported on the day. Again, the only horse that worries me in this, I would say, would be if an Ergomain decides to have a going day. I think potentially, if you didn't want to back John Bon at the price, an Ergomain each way or an Ergomain to finish in the top 4 or 5, I think would be a decent bet. But John Bon, if you're looking for the winner of the race, again, sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's obvious. You're not going to break the bank in terms of getting a big payout, but it's red hot favourite for a reason and should be the one that comes out first. Then go to the 440, obviously another handicap race. My Mate Mozzie is a horse that I actually fancied for a race later in the week. Again, a bit of an uninspiring race that there was nothing that really grabbed my attention. So I'm hoping that if I stick the faith, I don't have as much faith in the horse in this race as I did in the race later in the week. I think it was entered for Friday as well. But I think I'd be absolutely kicking myself if I wrote it down on my shortlist, albeit for a different race, and then it goes and wins early and I've not had a penny on. Again, tentative selection, small stake, loads of runners, but an each way bet. No problem, My Mate Mozzie. Currently second favourite, but a fair enough price. And then in the last, it's the Champion Bumper. As a lot of races are this week, it's all about Willie Mullins and the Irish. Um, you know, and again, this is a tentative one. Paul Nicholls has done well in this race previously without actually winning it. No drama this end, perhaps hasn't shown the class that some of the Irish horses might have. But if some of the Irish contingent fail to deliver, I think no drama this end. Again, just like with My Mate Mozzie and Sandor Clegane, small stakes each way play just to hopefully grab a place. I'm going to go with no drama this end to hopefully give a bit of credibility to the UK trainers there in the bumper. So my bets for Wednesday are as follows. You can see them on the screen now. Those are the sort of single bets that will be placed. But then also, I think this is an interesting bet. You've got Final Demand and the New Lion both to finish in the top 3, pace 4 to 5. You've got Ballyburn. You've got Sandor Clegane to finish in the top 10. That's even money. Stumptown to win and John Bon to win. And then My Mate Mozzie for a top 8 finish. And no drama this end for a top 7 finish at 8 to 13 and 10 to 11 respectively. Those prices are correct as of around 7:45 this morning. And the top finish market is something that I like to play as a punter quite often, and I do that with Paddy Power. But the sevenfold, if you look through that, it's not a ridiculous shout anywhere. It's not something that's way out there, but it pays just short of 120 to 1. I think that's a really generous price. 117.4 is the exact price in terms of the sevenfold. I'll be back in the sevenfold, but then just to ensure if only one lets us down, I'll be betting the sixfold as well. And then finally, just a Trixie on the 3 short-priced favourites there, Ballyburn, Stumptown and John Bon, all to win, or cover them in doubles. That's that bet as well. So those are my selections for Wednesday. As always, any likes, comments and shares are very much welcome. Fingers crossed, touch wood, and good luck if you follow.